Dreaming of an unforgettable trip to Istanbul without breaking the bank? Well, from breathtaking rooftop views to hidden gems and mouth-watering Turkish dishes, join me as I uncover how to spend 7 perfect days in this magical city on a budget. Stick around for the full video to get all the inside tips on where to stay and the best ways to travel around the city. All right, let's dive into the adventure of a lifetime. Day 1. Start your first day in Istanbul with a visit to Pierre Loti Cafe in the Eyüp neighborhood. Situated at the top of the hill, you'll enjoy the breathtaking views of the Golden Horn. They offer a traditional Turkish breakfast served with Turkish tea, and this is the perfect way to start your trip, diving straight into the local culture and cuisine. Accessible via a cable car, this is the best way to admire the views of a beautiful city right on your first day. Prices here are reasonable, with the average price coming in at around 200 Turkish lira. Now, after breakfast, head to the historic Grand Bazaar. Now, it's one of the oldest and largest covered markets in all of the world, with over 4,000 shops and stalls, offering a wide variety of different Turkish ceramics, spices, and handmade jewelry. A big part of the culture in Turkey is haggling, so don't be afraid to try to negotiate a better price for any items that you do decide to purchase. Spend a few hours browsing around the many different stalls and shops that this place has to offer. Head toward the Süleymaniye Mosque, an architectural masterpiece which is created by Mimar Sinan. The mosque was first opened in 1557 and took 7 years to construct. Even though it is free to enter and all religions are welcome, there is a dress code that you must adhere to if you want to enter inside. Women must have their legs, arms, and hair covered, while men only need their legs to be covered. Tickets are not required, but it can get busy at peak times. A short 10-minute walk is the beautiful hidden gem, the Rüstem Pasha Mosque, a smaller but equally stunning mosque renowned for its intricate Iznik tilework. Now here it's far less crowded, so you can take in the views in a more peaceful setting. To end your first night in Turkey, head to the Ararat Terrace Restaurant and Rooftop, situated in Istanbul's historic Sultanahmet district. Renowned for its panoramic rooftop views, you can enjoy sights of the Blue Mosque, the Hagia Sophia, and the Bosphorus Strait, serving up traditional Turkish dishes and signature offerings like succulent grilled meats, fresh seafood, and vegetarian options. Also enjoy a cocktail while you soak up the views and reflect back on an unforgettable first day in Istanbul. Here's how to travel around the city. Istanbul offers various transportation options that can make it relatively easy to explore the city's rich history and vibrant culture. Purchasing an Istanbul card will make traveling around the city easy and affordable. You can get these from kiosks or vending machines at major transportation hubs. Just top up money on the card to use them across buses, trams, metros, ferries, and funiculars. Metros and trams cover all the major areas in the city. Buses are also affordable but can be slow due to traffic. Ferries connect the European and Asian sides of Istanbul and can be used to access other locations like the Princess Islands. Now, if you are to use a taxi, ensure the driver uses a meter to avoid overcharging. Fares are reasonable, but you gotta watch out for scams. To enjoy the most of what the city has to offer, walking around and taking your time is always the best option. Day 2. Begin your second day in the beautiful city of Istanbul at Karaköy Güllüoğlu Nadir Gulu, a famous baklava shop in Karaköy that serves a traditional Turkish breakfast alongside fresh börek, which is a savory pastry, simit, which is a Turkish bagel, olives, cheeses, and traditional tea, which is the perfect way to fuel up before a big day of exploring. A short walk away is Karaköy Murat Muhallebicisi, which is a historical dessert cafe where you can grab a warm glass of sahlep, which is another Turkish delicacy. After breakfast, head to the İminönü ferry terminal for a Bosphorus ferry. The ferry is budget-friendly and can take you past major landmarks like the Rumeli Fortress, the Anadolu Kavagi, and the Maiden's Tower, offering stunning views of both the European and Asian shores of Istanbul. Ferries run frequently throughout the day and are priced between 30 to 50 Turkish lira for a tour and can be paid for on your Istanbul card. Stop at Kuzguncuk, which is located on the Asian side of Istanbul. Here you can admire the charming and colorful neighborhood known for its art galleries, quiet streets, and old wooden Ottoman houses. For the afternoon, head back over to the European side by hopping back on the ferry and head back to Dolmabahçe Palace, which was opened in 1856, and its purpose was to replace the Topkapi Palace as the administrative center of the Ottoman Empire. Home to one of the world's largest chandeliers, the grounds of the palace cover over 45,000 square feet with stunning gardens filled with water fountains. The price to enter the place is around 650 Turkish lira, and tickets need to be booked in advance. You could also pay a bit more to skip the queue if you'd prefer. Now, a free alternative for the afternoon would be to walk along the Bosphorus shoreline near the palace, where you'll find the Clock Tower Square and Bismillah Valid Sultan Mosque, which is a peaceful, less visited Ottoman mosque, which is free to enter. Keep heading up to the Bosphorus shoreline for an evening meal at Cinaralti Restaurant. Specializing in Turkish food, the restaurant offers a variety of fresh fish and traditional mezes. Dishes such as grilled fish, calamari, and shrimp for a budget-friendly price. With stunning views of the Bosphorus River, this is the perfect location to sit back and relax after a busy day of walking. Day 3. Start day 3 by heading to the Asian side of Istanbul. There are many different ways to do this, but the easiest and cheapest would be via the ferry. Departing from the İminönü ferry terminal every 15 minutes, with the journey taking about 20 to 25 minutes, and prices are around 30 Turkish lira that can be paid using an Istanbul card. Now, once you arrive in Kadıköy, stop by the Baylan Patisserie, which is a historical cafe in Kadıköy, famous for its coupe grillée, which is a unique caramel and nut parfait dessert. Even though it's a sweet dessert, it is acceptable to have for breakfast. Hey, after all, you are on holiday. After breakfast, take a stroll through the Karaköy Market. Now, it's an area filled with fresh produce, spices, and small shops selling affordable Turkish delights and dried fruits. There are plenty of local street vendors around the market offering local Turkish cuisine. And it's best to bring cash to the markets, as most stalls don't take credit cards, and haggling there is also welcomed. Once you've finished browsing, head toward the Moda Neighborhood. Here, you'll find tree-lined streets with beautiful buildings filled with cafes, perfect for you to sit back and relax while enjoying a nice coffee. Before leaving the area, be sure to head to the Barış Manço House, which is home to the former legendary Turkish musician, and now it's a small museum. Fun fact, did you know that Turkey is one of only a few countries that are split across 2 continents? In the afternoon, head to the Çamlıca Hill, which is one of the highest points in Istanbul, offering stunning panoramic views of the city. It's a peaceful spot with gardens and a terrace where you can relax and take in the breathtaking views of Istanbul from a height. On your way, be sure to visit Kuzguncuk, which is a charming and colorful area with a mix of old Ottoman houses, cozy bookshops, and cafes. It's also home to several churches, synagogues, and mosques that all peacefully coexist in a small area. Head over to the European side of Istanbul for an evening meal at Karaköy Lokantası, which is a restaurant that blends traditional Turkish flavors with an Asian twist. This is the perfect way to end your trip exploring the Asian side of Istanbul. Their menu features fresh seafood, creative sushi rolls, and a variety of other fusion dishes that are both flavorful and budget-friendly. Here's the best time to visit and tips on where to stay. Spring, meaning April through May, and autumn, September and October, are considered the best times to visit due to mild weather, fewer crowds, and the ability to enjoy both the outdoor and indoor attractions quite comfortably. Summer is when weather is at its best, with temperatures around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The winter months are also best to travel on a budget, as hotels become quite cheap, and the attractions are also much less crowded. Staying in central areas like Sultanahmet, Beyoğlu, or Karaköy can save you time and transportation costs. Prices for hotels, well, they all vary on the time of year and how highly rated they are. Hostels are also an option if you really want to save as much money as possible, but it's advised to look around on different websites to find the best deals for your stay in Istanbul. Day 4. Start day 4 by taking a stroll around the Ararat Bazaar, which is located just behind the famous Blue Mosque. This smaller, less crowded market offers a quiet shopping experience compared to the Grand Bazaar. Here, you'll find unique handmade items like ceramics, textiles, and jewelry. It's a peaceful spot to pick up affordable souvenirs, and a perfect location to get fueled up with a local breakfast before a busy day exploring the heart of the city. After browsing the markets, head to Hagia Sophia. This is one of the most iconic landmarks in all of Istanbul and is an absolute must on your 7-day visit here. Originally built as a Christian cathedral and then later transformed into a mosque and then a museum, it's now been transformed back to a mosque again. It's free to visit, but is closed during prayer hours, so it's advised to check before you go. As like all mosques in Istanbul, women are required to cover up, gotta have your arms, legs, and wear a headscarf. And the men are also required to cover their legs. Just across from the Hagia Sophia is the Blue Mosque, which is officially called the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, and this is another iconic Istanbul landmark. It's free to enter and is famous for its beautiful blue Iznik tiles and grand interior. After visiting the Blue Mosque, wander around Sultanahmet Square to see the Hippodrome, where chariot races were once held. Take time to admire the obelisk of Theodosius, the Serpent Column, and the German Fountain, all historical remnants from different eras. For the afternoon, make your way across Topkapi Palace. It was the center of the Ottoman Empire for nearly 400 years and served as the residence of the sultans, their families, and the imperial court. It's been opened as a museum since 1924 and has been showcasing a glimpse into the world of the Ottoman dynasty. Tickets to enter the place and the harem are around 1,700 Turkish lira, which is a little pricey, but definitely worth the money if you're willing to pay it. But if not, then a free alternative for the afternoon would be the Güllüoğlu Park, which is a peaceful green space located not far from the palace where you can relax, enjoy a picnic, or just simply take a quiet stroll. It's a beautiful spot that many tourists overlook, but locals love. For an evening meal, head to Tahiri Sultanahmet Köftesi, which is an affordable and traditional Turkish dinner. There, they serve kofta, pilav, and kachik, which is a yogurt dip. They offer a comforting and authentic Turkish meal right in the heart of Sultanahmet. Day 5. Start your day with breakfast at Cactus Cihangir, which serves up traditional Turkish-style breakfast, and this is the perfect place to go to get fueled up and ready for the day ahead exploring the Prince's Islands. Once you've finished breakfast, head to Kabatas ferry port and catch a ferry to Büyükada, which is the largest of the Prince's Islands. The ferry ride takes about 1.4 hours and offers beautiful views of the Bosphorus and Istanbul skyline. Tickets there are 25 to 30 Turkish lira. Once you arrive on Büyükada, take a leisurely walk through the streets lined with historic wooden houses and lush greenery. The island is car-free, so you'll experience a relaxed and peaceful atmosphere. Rent a bike or hop on a horse-drawn carriage to explore the island's natural beauty. Bike rentals cost between 300 to 500 Turkish lira for the day, depending on the type of bike and what shop you rent from. Once you've rented a bike, head to Aya Yorgi Church and Monastery, located on the hilltop. It's a quiet and less visited spot, and the hike up offers breathtaking views of the island and surrounding sea. Grab some lunch at one of the many restaurants located along the front of the water's edge. After lunch, wander around the lesser-known areas of the island, like Nizam Kadesi and the Lighthouse area, which offer stunning views and are quieter than main tourist areas. A walk here will show you the island's more tranquil and picturesque side. Relax by the sea and visit Naki Bay Beach, which is one of the less crowded beaches on the island. Spend the rest of the afternoon either cycling or walking around the beautiful island, taking in all the stunning sights that it has to offer. Before heading back to Istanbul, enjoy an evening meal at Ararat Restaurant, serving hearty Turkish dishes like lamb kebab, stuffed vegetables, and fresh seafood. It's a wonderful place to enjoy a final meal on the island while taking in the views. If you still got some time left before you catch the ferry back, then walk along Kumsal Street, which runs along the coast. This quiet area offers beautiful views of the sea and is the perfect place to enjoy the sunset before returning to Istanbul. Let's talk about the airports. Istanbul has two major airports connecting the city to destinations all around the world. Istanbul Airport is located on the European side of the city, about 35 kilometers north of the city center. The metro is the cheapest way to get to the center and will cost you about 38 Turkish lira. Buses and taxis are also options for getting to and from the airport, but be careful of scams if you travel via a taxi. Sabiha Gökçen International Airport is located on the Asian side of Istanbul and is about 40 kilometers southeast of the city center. It primarily serves budget airlines and domestic flights, but can also handle an international route. Taxis are the easiest way to get to and from the airport, and fares are around 250 to 300 Turkish lira. Day 6. Start day 6 by enjoying some breakfast at My Terrace Cafe and Restaurant. Located in Istanbul's historic Sultanahmet district, it's renowned for its panoramic views and authentic Turkish cuisine. It's the perfect place to sit, relax, and admire the views of Hagia Sophia and Blue Mosque before another busy day exploring this magnificent city. After breakfast, take a short stroll across to the Basilica Cistern. This stunning underground structure highlights the engineering brilliance of the Byzantine Empire. This ancient cistern served as a vital water storage facility for the city. Constructed back in the 6th century, it had been open as a tourist attraction since 1987. Entry will cost around 900 Turkish lira. Another must-see location before your trip in Istanbul comes to an end is the Galata Tower. To climb to the top of the tower, it'll cost around 650 Turkish lira, and it offers breathtaking panoramic views of the city. It was built in 1348 and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Istanbul's most visited landmarks. To keep it budget-friendly, as much of the views from the top of the tower are breathtaking, it's still worth the visit to admire the tower from the ground without entering inside the building. Once you've taken in the views of the tower, head up to Istiklal Street, which is a pedestrian-friendly avenue lined with shops, cafes, and historic buildings. Visit the Pera Museum, which is located just off of Istiklal Avenue. Now, this lesser-known museum features a fascinating collection of Ottoman-era artwork and rotating exhibits of modern art. Ticket prices are only around 200 Turkish lira. Stop for food at Dulumzade, which is a small but famous eatery near Taksim. which is known for mouth-watering durum, also known as Turkish wraps. This spot is both budget-friendly and highly rated for its grilled meat options. If nightlife is what you're looking for on your final night of the trip to Istanbul, then head to Nevizade Street, which is a lively area with bars and taverns where you can enjoy Turkish raki and live music. An alternative option would be to stroll to Kirkukuma, which is a charming neighborhood near Istiklal, which is known for its antique shops and bohemian vibe. And day 7. Spend your last and final morning with a traditional Turkish bath. Head to Süleymaniye Hammam. Now, a hammam is also known as a Turkish bath and is a centuries-old tradition of bathing and relaxation that blends Roman and Byzantine bathing practices with Ottoman culture. It's designed to purify the body and rejuvenate the mind through a series of rituals in a heated, steam-filled environment. Prices for the baths can vary depending on what type of treatment you have, but it's the perfect way to relax and reflect on the most unforgettable 7 days in Istanbul. Spend the rest of the afternoon browsing around the shops and picking up any last-minute shopping deals this beautiful city has to offer before jetting back off home. Now click on the video on the screen now to learn how to spend more time in other cities around the world.